Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 40 of The Brandon Holt Show, featuring attorney Symone Redwine, bariatric surgeon Dr. Michael L. Green Jr., nurse practitioner Tamika Scott, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, YouTube Live.
You're already clapping. You're already clapping. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Houston's own internationally acclaimed two-time author and motivational speaker extraordinaire. Give it up for the host of the Brandon Holt Show. It's Brandon Holt.
Yes, family. Catch us Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Brandon Holt Show. Special guest, Tamika Scott, family nurse practitioner. Then, Girl Is That Legal with attorney Symone Redwine, monthly contributor. And then Get Lean with Dr. Green, Michael L. Green Jr., bariatric surgeon, monthly contributor. Catch us. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Instagram at Brandon Holt Sr., Facebook, Brandon Holt Show, and catch us on YouTube.
Brandon Holt, it is that time of the month. Dr. Green, Get Lean with Dr. Green. My man, my brother, Dr. Green, what's going on?
What's going on, Brandon? Everything.
Everything is everything, Doc. COVID-19, what's the word in Fort Worth?
I think the numbers are going down. I'm real happy to see that. We're still doing our social distancing. We're still masked up, and we're washing our hands. So we're trying to do what's right.
Now, Doc, are you seeing more and more people getting the vaccine, or are you still seeing people who are just a little hesitant?
I think it's across the board, Brandon. I think it depends on the sector. I've done a few Zoom calls to try to educate individuals about the importance of what the vaccine can do. You know, we're talking about trying to put a damper on this pandemic, and I think that there's some that are confused about it. There's some that don't believe in it, but I think globally we have seen, for some reason, and obviously I think the pandemic has been the greatest change, for the numbers to be trending down. Hey, there's a lot of buzz about caffeine. This is Ask I Doc, aka Dr. Green with Get Lean with Dr. Green. But let's address caffeine and what role it can play with weight gain, weight loss. And so caffeine as itself, though a stimulant, depends on how you have your caffeine. There are several caffeinated beverages that have a lot of calories. There are also coffees that we tend to put additional calories in them. So in that space, we potentially would gain more calories than we need. We never want our beverages, our PO intake, our liquids to be calorie laden. On the flip side, caffeine can also be a diuretic. And so a diuretic is something that requires or allows us to urinate more frequently. Therefore, that can lead more toward dehydration, and therefore may lead more toward water depletion. It's very important to maintain our water intake. And so we have to look at the role that caffeine may have in our ability to lose weight, to get lean. Hope that was a great health tip for you in regards to how we navigate dealing with caffeine. Have a great day.
It's time to elevate your business in 2021. Secure a customized commercial to be aired live on The Brandon Holt Show. Email thebrandonholtshow@gmail.com for more information. How can someone find what they need to make sure that the right amount of nutrients or calories are coming in their body every single day, and how important that is?
Well, I would say, there are several web-based free apps that actually give you direction from a caloric standpoint. To the extent of a novice that's trying to get in to this space, I would not fret about the calories. Don't start getting so consumed about that, because where people miss the mark is they don't calculate calories correctly. And so what they do is they'll get a box of something, they'll mix it all together, they'll eat a portion of it, and then all of a sudden they said, oh, I had 130 calories. Well, no, you ate the whole box, so that's 130 times 5. And so
Right.
I think you have to
Right.
really understand, what that's about. And so let's talk about portions and portion control. And so when we begin to talk about what are the important components of a daily meal, and let's talk about the percentages. Let's base our basis of our protein intake being protein. Protein will boost the metabolism, will carve the appetite, but also will preserve our muscle mass and allow our bodies, as it starts to break down, instead of breaking down the muscle, the proteins replacing, it'll allow our body to break down fat stores.
How does water play a part in, making sure you're eating correctly? Can you drink too much water, not enough water? What do you recommend?
Well, there are disease states to which you drink too much water, but that's probably very hard to do. So for the most part, water's your friend. They say
Hmm.
drink water like a fish, because what water does, it really helps the cells. Like everything you hear, everything that grows needs water. Well, your body as well. And so water helps you with your appetite. Water can also, from a standpoint of keeping you satisfied and full, but it also helps with the muscle. What I mean by that is any small level of dehydration, because inadequate water intake may impact your mental or your physical performance, which may then correlate to less of a workout.
It's time to hydrate in style. Crystal Bruce is an Air Force veteran, founder and CEO of Crystal Cups, specializing in tumblers from hand-painted wood grain, glitter, hydro-dipped. Today, you can personalize your tumbler with any design, from sports teams, logos to social media handles. Invest in your cup today by ordering on Instagram or Facebook at Crystal_Cups, and shipping is available. So, Dr. Green, people are afraid to actually stop smoking because of the fear of gaining weight. How do you tackle that concept?
Well, like any other behavior, which smoking is a behavior to some extent, despite any type of euphoria they get with the nicotine, what happens when you don't smoke, you end up doing things like putting things in your mouth. And so it's a habit forming. So I think you have to look at the changing of the behavior, which then leads toward the weight loss or doing things, staying active. One of the things that I've known people to do is to just a lollipop. Obviously, that could be a lot of calories, but it just gave them something to put in their hand that kept them busy. Therefore, they wouldn't start eating a lot of calories.
So it's more of the motion as well.
Exactly. Hey, everyone is afraid of that scale. Don't let that scale scare you. But the reality of it is, you don't have to weigh yourself every day. The last thing we want you to do is to be shocked with what the scale says. I do think the scale is best in the bathroom, and let me tell you why. Depending upon after you're getting dressed and where you put the scale, your weight may fluctuate based on what article of clothing you have. But what better way to get a true weight is than in your birthday suit? Therefore, in the bathroom is an ideal location. I would say, as a marketing and a tracking factor of what you're trying to achieve in your weight, 2 to 3 times a week will give you the stimulus to get back on the treadmill or in the gym, or also give you a good gauge of just where you are with your weight. Hopefully that's a great help tip in regards to how we use our scales.
Craig Joseph of Houston, This Is It Soul Food, and sponsor of The Brandon Holt Show. Be sure and stop by and enjoy some tremendous food. 2712 Blodgett Street, McGregor, Houston, Texas. Thanks, Craig. Hey, my next guest is a board-certified family nurse practitioner working in bariatric surgery medicine. She's the business owner of Conversation Piece, a women's fashion boutique. Guess what? She's all the way from Galveston, Texas. Put your hands together and help me welcome the one and only Tamika M. Scott in the house. Tamika, how are you?
Doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you.
So let's kind of talk about who benefits from bariatric surgery.
Well, there's two patient populations. First of all, there's something called a BMI. It's body mass index, which is your height and your weight, which give us this magical number that tells us either we're overweight, underweight, or morbidly obese. And so this population, this number tells us the patient population that benefits from it. So from BMI of 35 to 39 with health issues, that patient would benefit from it, as well as the patient with a BMI 40 or greater with no health conditions. They would benefit from bariatric surgery as well. Understanding nutrition, really both of those two things. Sometimes there are genetic factors that could weigh into the reason why a person isn't losing weight, having difficulty losing weight, medications that a person may be on that may cause them to gain weight. Some health conditions limit the amount of weight, makes it very difficult for patients to lose weight. So there are tons of things out there that can, inhibit a person from losing a great deal of weight. And bariatric services offers that. We offer guaranteed weight.
So Tamika, before someone has bariatric surgery, is there a mental process that they have to go through to get ready for the surgery? And also, is there another process they have to go through once the surgery is over with?
Yes. The surgery is the easiest part of this whole thing about bariatric surgery. It's preparing yourself mentally on changing your eating habits, how you eat, what you eat, how much you eat, the process of eating.
And you had mentioned to me in a previous conversation about smart shopping and how you can survive nutrition by smart shopping. So what exactly is smart shopping?
I always tell my patients smart shopping is shopping the perimeter of the store. Fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, meats, dairy, frozen vegetables, frozen fruits if you have to, those things. So if you stick to the perimeter store, it's just that basic, you should do well. You can go in the aisles to get some things, obviously seasoning, but you don't want to live there. If you're spending a rule of thumb, if you're spending most of your time walking up and down the aisles, then you're in the wrong place.
What is life like for someone when they actually come out of the surgical procedure? What's the mindset of that person? Because someone's watching right now who's thinking, should I have the procedure? Should I not have the procedure? What's it like?
Well, it's after surgery, it's a little late. That's something that's something we need to establish very early on, the mindset, changing the mindset. But after surgery, understanding the diet stages that you'll go through, understanding, with bariatric surgery, you're not only changing what you're eating, the meal composition, but you're also changing how you eat, how much you eat. Are you eating too fast? Are you using a straw? Nope, don't use a straw. Are you waiting to eat and drink at the same time? So a couple of things, taken in mind that now you no longer have a large reservoir for a stomach, but much smaller. So being mindful.
You are a business owner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Conversation, peace, singular.
Yes.
All right, tell us about it.
So I started in July 27, 2020, so not quite a year yet. It's an online women's boutique, specialized in fashion, trendy clothing.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, just fashionable clothing.
So if people want to order your clothes, how does that work? How does the process work?
So again, it's online.
Okay.
You would visit www.convopiece.net.
Okay.
That's how you would go online and purchase clothing. I don't have a Facebook store or Instagram store, so it's mainly online.
Now, what is your desired outcome for the business?
A brick and mortar. That's my ultimate goal, to have a brick and mortar store.
Welcome to the show. It's
Thank
good to
you.
see you. Symone, we're talking all things legal. Legal. And you're an attorney.
I am attorney Symone Redwine. I practice in Texas. My firm, the Esquire Litigation Group, we represent victims of auto accidents, slip and falls, and so forth in the states of Texas, Georgia, and Florida.
Now, are you a beast in Houston? That's what we want to know.
I
Are you
am.
running the city?
Of course. I'm definitely a one to fear.
And I remember Symone said, now look, if you need some legal counsel, guys, don't call and try to holler at Symone. If you call Symone, keep it about business, right?
And I can be reached at 1-855-4-SYMONE. That's 1-855-4-SYMONE.
There we go. There we go.
Get into it.
Let's get into it. So Symone, the racial makeup of the 12 jurors, 3 black men, 1 black woman, 2 multiracial, and 3.
The Derek Chauvin trial.
That's right. That's right. So tell the viewers what the trial is about, what's happening, and what the
the projection is from a legal standpoint.
Right. So we've been following those of us attorneys and so forth have been following the Derek Chauvin trial.
Mhm.
Derek Chauvin is the police officer who kneeled and killed and murdered George Floyd. And I've been getting a lot of common questions. So we're going to go over a few of those because I understand most people do not want to watch that trial every day. It's traumatic.
Mhm.
It's traumatic to rewatch. If I was an attorney, I wouldn't be keeping up with it as closely because at the end, we all know what happened.
Right. And so what are some
We
of
all
the
know what
questions
happened.
that you
Right. So one of them is,
with?
what is the racial makeup of the jury?
Mhm.
Okay. So the jury is 12 jurors. However, they do have 3 alternates. The 3 alternates are all white. However, the jurors, at least half of them are people of color. So we've got 3 black males, 1 black woman, 2 people that identify as multiracial. Interestingly, though, of the 3 black men, only 1 is an American black male.
Okay.
The other 2 are African black males. So we know they have different experiences and so forth.
So do you feel like the makeup of the jury is going to play a major impact in this trial?
I think he has a better chance of getting justice. That's for sure. See, the jury is actually more diverse than the city of Minneapolis itself. Minneapolis is actually 74% white, and the rest are people of color. But the jury is far more diverse than that. So that'll be interesting to
Symone,
see.
we tend to see when these situations happen, the Caucasian officer or the other individual tends to get off, or their sentence is lessened than a potential African American or a minority committing the same crime. So why is that?
I mean, it varies, but I think it always starts with the jury. The more representative of a community that the jury is, the more likely you are to get justice. That's why they work so hard to keep black folks off juries, if you think about it.
Right.
Have you ever had a jury where someone was accused, where a cop was accused, and they said, you know what, let's have an all-black jury? Never. I've never seen an all-black jury, actually. And that's for a reason. Even when you're in cities like Atlanta or like Detroit, where we have large populations. So I think here, the crux of the defense is that George Floyd did not die from the knee to the neck, and that instead he died from a drug overdose or a heart attack. And that is in part because the first coroner's report reported that it was related to, he had a history of heart problems. So it was related to heart problems, that they found fentanyl in his system, and that these things contributed. However, it also stated that he died of asphyxiation. And
tell everybody what that means.
Asphyxiation is basically a lack of oxygen. Okay. And it did not say that the cause of death was solely the drug overdose or drugs, period. And more than that, the experts we saw recently actually said the amount of drugs that he had in his system were not sufficient for an overdose.
So, Symone, what happens if you witness a crime? And I can see a lot of fear,
excessive force. Right.
And what if you witness it and other people see you witness it and you just kind of want to stay out of the way? You want to say something, but now you're in fear of your life.
I understand that can be a real problem, especially like perhaps if you may have outstanding issues with the law. But it's really, really important if you've witnessed an incident of excessive force or where you believe police officers are, doing something that's illegal, that you file a report. You can do so really easily online. What you do is you just Google your city or your towns. It's called internal affairs with the police department.
Okay.
You can go and you can do it online. Now, most instances, you're not able to do it anonymously. But the reason that it's so important is because when you've got people like Derek Chauvin, who have a history, he had 18 complaints before he killed George Floyd. It's really, really important that you make these written complaints so that if someone has an attorney and they have a civil suit, they're better able to get justice.
What's next in this trial?
So as of today, it is day 12. It's day 12 of the trial. So today, actually, the defense is starting to put on their defense. So what happens next? The defense is going to call their witnesses. The state prosecutors get to cross-examine those witnesses. And then we're going to get closing arguments from both sides. So the hope is that we'll be able to wrap up by Friday and that the jurors can go into deliberation.
And what do you feel? Let's make your prediction.
I don't have a lot of faith in these things. At the end of the day, I really think it's going to turn on whether or not the jurors feel that he died of a heart attack unrelated to the asphyxiation, that he died of a heart attack, or that it was drug related. Because in the end, even if he had drugs in his system,
unnecessary,
the way that he's treated, it's not like you can kneel on a drug addict but not kneel on someone who's sober. That's not how the law works. At the end of the day, it's about at what point was it excessive for him to use that tactic. And without question, the witnesses have said it was excessive when he was no longer resisting, and he certainly wasn't resisting when he was dead.
Hey everybody, this is my girl Symone Redwine, attorney here out of Houston. Symone, we always appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. If you want to know more, if you have any legal questions, feel free to hit me up at 1-855-4-Symone. You can actually text your legal questions, and perhaps the next time I'm on, we can get them answered.
And tell them, keep it business.
Absolutely. Keep it business. I would hope we'd all know that. Yes.
Hey, we want to tell everybody as well, Symone is here every single month. She's our monthly contributor. She's our legal expert on the Brandon Holt Show. Peace. We'll catch you next time.